You got to understand something right now, right? The second that person you're thinking about, the one taking up space in your mind, living rent-free in your thoughts, they're not worth the energy you're spending on them. Now, one bit, look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? I'll tell you what I see. I see someone stronger than they realize. Someone who's been giving their power away, piece by piece, to someone who probably isn't even thinking about them right now. You know what kills dreams faster than failure? Obsession. Obsessing over someone who's not meant to be in your life. It's like carrying around a 100-pound weight and wondering why you can't run. You can't run because you won't let go. I was talking to a young man last week. Smart kid, bright future ahead of him, but he was stuck. But because some girl from 3 years ago still had him wrapped around her finger, he wasn't living. He was existing in the shadow of what if. What if she comes back? You know, what if things were different? Let me tell you something. What if it's a poison that kills? You're sitting there nodding, aren't you? Because you know exactly what I'm talking about. That phone in your hand, you're checking it every 5 minutes hoping they'll text. That social media account. You're scrolling through their photos like it's your job. Stop it. Stop it right now. Here's a truth bomb for you. Every second you spend wanting someone who doesn't want you is a second stolen from finding someone who will. Every minute you waste thinking about them is a minute you could have spent building your empire. I met a woman who lost everything. Her business, or her savings, her self-respect, because she couldn't let go of someone who'd already let go of her. She kept saying, well, we had such good times. So what? You had good times eating baby food too, but you grew up, didn't you? The problem isn't them. It never was. The problem is you've turned them into an idol. You've given them the power to determine your worth, your happiness, your future. That stops today. Let me break it down for you. Every time you think about them, replace that thought with action. They pop into your mind, do 10 push-ups. Can't stop thinking about their smile. Learn a new skill, missing their voice. Call someone who actually picks up when you call. Your brain is like a garden. Whatever you water grows. Right now, you're watering weeds and wondering why you can't see the flowers. You're feeding the wrong wolf and wondering why you feel weak. I know a guy who spent 6 years, waiting for his ex to realize what she'd lost. Know what happened in those 6 years? His ex got married, had 2 kids, and built a successful business. And him, he's still waiting, still hoping, still stuck in 2018 while the world moved on. You think this is about love? It's not. It's about control. It's about fear. You're afraid of the unknown, so you cling to the familiar pain. You know what that is? That's comfortable misery, and comfortable misery will kill your spirit faster than any failure ever could. Let me tell you what real strength is. Real strength is deleting their number, even when your fingers are shaking. Real strength is walking past their favorite coffee shop and not looking in. Real strength is choosing yourself when everything inside you is begging to choose them. You're worried about being alone. Let me tell you something about being alone. Alone is not the same as lonely. Alone is where you find your power. Alone is where you build your empire. Alone is where you become unstoppable. I saw this quote on the wall once. When that body became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. That's what this is about. Taking this pain, this obsession, this weakness, and turning it into your foundation. Your worth isn't tied to their attention. Your future isn't connected to choices. Your happiness isn't dependent on their present. The moment you really understand this, not just in your head, but in your gut, that's when you'll be free. Think about all time you've wasted. All the opportunities you missed because you were too busy looking backward. All the amazing people you could have met, but didn't because your heart was too full of someone who didn't deserve the space. You know what's funny? The moment you stop wanting something then, that's when your real life begins. That's when doors start opening. That's when opportunities start showing up. That's when you start attracting people who actually deserve you. I'm going to tell you something that might hurt right now, but we'll save you later. They're not special. They're not your soulmate. They're not the one that got away. They're just someone who taught you what you don't want in your life anymore. Every time you stalk their social media, you're volunteering for pain. Every time you drive by their house, you're choosing weakness. Every time you ask mutual friends about them, you're giving away your power. Not my circus, not my monkeys, their life. Not your business anymore. Their problems, not your responsibility, their happiness, not your job. You need to understand something fundamental. The universe has a plan bigger than your current pain, but you can't see it because you're too busy staring at a closed door. Turn around. Look at all the open ones. I want you to do something right now Take out your phone, go to their number, hit delete, feel that panic. That's addiction leaving your body. That's freedom knocking on your door. That's your future calling. Your obsession with them is like a bad habit. And like a habit, it can be broken. It takes 21 days to form a new habit. Give me 21 days. Give yourself 21 days of choosing you. Watch what happens. Stop romanticizing the past. You know, those perfect moments you keep replaying in your head, they're keeping you from creating new ones. Those signs you think the universe is sending you about them, that's just your mind playing tricks on you. But you want to know what real love looks like. It's not checking your phone every minute. It's not crying yourself to sleep. It's not feeling like you're not enough. Real love adds to your life. It doesn't subtract from it. Here's what you're going to do. Every time you want to check their social media, you're going to work on your goals instead. Every time you want to text them, you're going to text yourself a win from your day. Every time you miss them, you're going to do something that makes you proud of yourself. You think you want them, but what you really want is a version of yourself you were when you felt love. Here's the secret. You can be that person without them. Actually, you can be better. Your healing isn't in their apology. Your closure isn't in their explanation. Your peace isn't in their presence. It's all in you. It always has been. Stop giving the best year of your life to someone who isn't even giving you their worst ones. Stop putting your dreams on hold for someone who's out there living theirs. Stop dimming your light for someone who didn't even notice when you were shining. You know what's better than their attention? Self-respect. You know what's better than their love? Self-love. Yeah. You know what's better than their presence? Peace of mind. I want you to promise yourself something right now. Promise that this is the last time you let someone have this much power over you. Promise that from this moment on, you're going to love yourself so hard that it makes up for all the love you wasted on the wrong person. Your happiness is not a democracy, and you don't need anyone's permission to move on. You don't need their validation to be worthy. You don't need their presence to be complete. But you remember, like the same energy you are, you use and miss them could be used to become them. While you're sitting there missing them, they're out there missing nothing. While you're wondering about them, they're out there wandering toward their dreams. The person you're becoming is so much more important than the person you can't forget. The life you're building is so much more valuable than the relationship you lost. The future you're creating is so much bigger than the past you're holding on to. Don't tell me you can't do it. Don't tell me it's too hard. Don't tell me you're not strong enough. You're breathing, aren't you? Your heart's beating, isn't it? Then you're strong enough. The truth is, they did you a favor. They showed you who they are. They showed you what you don't want. They showed you where you need to grow. Take that lesson and run with it. Your worth isn't in their words. Your value isn't in their validation. Your future isn't in their hands. It's all in yours. Always has been. Always will be. So stand up. Right now, stand up and declare that this is the last day you waste wanting someone who doesn't want you. The last day you'll spend checking their social media. The last day you'll put their happiness before yours. You're not going to be the person who can let go. You're going to be the person who turned their pain into power. You're going to be the one who built an empire while others were building excuses. Every time you feel weak, remember this. If you've survived everything life has thrown at you so far, you're still here. You're still fighting. You're still fighting. You're still rising. That's not weakness. That's warrior status. Your story isn't going to be about the person who left. It's going to be about the person who stayed, you. The person who faced their fears, who built their dreams, who chose themselves when no one else would. Stop looking for closure in places where doors have already been shut. Stop seeking warmth from people who left you out in the cold. Stop expecting loyalty from people who couldn't even give you honesty. You want to know what real power is? Real power is being able to say, I wish you well, and actually mean it. Real power is seeing them with someone else and feeling nothing. Real power is realizing that their absence made room for your abundance. The next chapter of your life is waiting to be written, but you can't write it if you're still rereading the last one. Close that book. Start a new one. Make it a bestseller. Remember this moment. Remember these words. Because years from now, when you're living your best life, when you're surrounded by people who actually deserve you, when you're achieving things you never thought possible, you'll look back at this moment as the turning point. This is your liberation day. This is your independence declaration. This is your freedom song. Sing it loud. Sing it proud. And never, ever go back to humming someone else's tune. Your time is too precious, to waste it on someone who doesn't see your value. Your energy is too valuable to spend it on someone who doesn't match your effort. Your heart is too special to give it to someone who doesn't treasure it. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take all that love you've been given in them and give it to yourself. You're going to take all that energy you've been spending on them and spend it on your dreams. You're going to take all that time you've been wasting on them and invest it in your future. Because at the end of the day, the only person you need to impress is the one staring back at you in the mirror. The only validation you need is the kind that comes from knowing you chose yourself. The only love you need is the kind that doesn't require you to beg for it. Now get up, get moving, get living. Your future is waiting, and it's got no room for people who couldn't see your worth. It's got no space for those who couldn't match your energy. It's got no time for those who couldn't give you theirs. You're not just going to survive this. You're going to thrive through this. You're not just going to move on. You're going to move up. You're not just going to forget them. You're going to remember yourself. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your life. Take it back, own it, live it, and never, ever apologize for choosing yourself over someone who couldn't choose you. The desire to want someone who doesn't want you back and today, or right here, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you're ready, now. Because if not now, then when? If not you, then who? Your life is calling. Your dreams are waiting. Your future is knocking. Answer it. Open the door. Step through. And don't look back, because what's ahead of you is so much better than what you're leaving behind. The pain you're feeling, it's temporary. But the strength you gain from this, that's forever. The lessons you're learning right now, they're priceless. The person you're becoming, unstoppable. Yeah, I met a CEO last month. You know, what she told me, her biggest break came when a high school sweetheart left her for someone else. She said that heartbreak was the wake-up call she needed. While he was posting vacation photos with his new girl, she was building her empire. Now, she employs 300 people, and he's one of them. Listen carefully, Mom. And your obsession with them is blocking your blessings. It's like standing in front of a door marked future, but staring through the peephole of a door marked past. You can't walk through both. You got to choose. Take that energy using to overanalyze their every word, every action, every post. Channel in something bigger than them, bigger than you. That business plan you've been sitting on, start it. That degree you've been putting off, pursue it. That fitness goal you've been postponing. Success is the sweetest revenge, but revenge shouldn't be your motivation. Your motivation should be the realization that you're capable of so much more than loving someone who couldn't love you right. Your problem isn't love. Your problem is you've been treating temporary people like permanent fixtures. You've been treating optional people like they're necessary. You've been treating their absence like it's an emergency. It's not a one he tells you about letting go. Okay. It's not a one-time decision. It's a decision you make every morning when you wake up, every time their name crosses your mind, every time you pass by places that remind you of them. Successful people aren't the ones who never got hurt. They're the ones who refuse to stay, too. They're the ones who turn their wounds into wisdom, their setbacks into setups, their rejection into redirection. Stop making excuses for people who wouldn't make time for you. Stop creating scenarios in your head where they finally realize what they lost. Stop putting your life on pause while waiting for someone who's already pressed play on their own. You think you're missing them. You're missing the idea of them. You're missing who you thought they could be, not who they actually are. Big difference. Life is too short to waste it questioning your worth because someone else questioned it first. Life is too precious to spend it trying to convince someone to see your value. Life is too beautiful to spend it waiting for someone who's already gone. The right person won't make you question your worth. The right person won't make you feel like loving them is a full-time job. The right person won't have you making speeches like this one. Your potential is too vast to be limited by someone's inability to see it. Your dreams are too big to fit in someone else's vision. Your purpose is too important to be sidetracked by someone's exit. When you finally kill that desire to want them, you'll feel something amazing: freedom, pure, unfiltered, unrestricted freedom, the freedom to grow without guilt, the freedom to shine without shame, the freedom to live without limits. That's the thing about letting go. It's not about them anymore. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about remembering who you were before they came along and discovering who you can become now that they're gone. Stop giving permanent space. It's temporary people. Stop giving VIA access to people who treat you like an option. Stop giving headline status to people who wouldn't even make you a footnote in their story. You're not going to be the person who spent years wanting someone, who spent minutes thinking about them. You're not going to be the one whose greatest accomplishment was loving someone who couldn't love them back. The universe keeps taking them away because you keep trying to hold on to what's meant to be let go. The universe keeps closing that door because your blessing is behind a different one. Your worth isn't determined by their inability to recognize it. Your future isn't limited by their inability to see it. Your happiness isn't dependent on their ability to provide it. You got greatness in your bones. You got success in your blood. You got power in your spirit. Don't waste it on someone who couldn't see the magic in front of them. This isn't just about getting over someone. This is about becoming someone stronger, someone wiser, someone unstoppable, someone who knows their worth isn't up for negotiation. The same energy you're using to miss them, use it to build yourself. The same time you're spending thinking about them, spend it investing in yourself. The same love you wasted on them, give it to yourself. You're going to look back at this moment one day and thank yourself for being strong enough to let go. You're going to look back and realize that their exit was your entrance to something greater. This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment to rise. Don't let anyone's absence block your abundance. Don't let anyone's exit stop your entrance. Don't let anyone's goodbye prevent your hello to greatness. Because when all is said and done, you won't be remembered for who you couldn't forget. You'll be remembered for what you became after you let go. Now stand tall, walk proud, live free. Your future is waiting and it's got no room for those who couldn't see the star that you are. It's time to shine so bright that they need sunglasses just to look at your success from a distance. Take those dreams you've been putting on hold, those opportunities you've been pushing aside, those goals you've been neglecting. It's time to bring them front and center. I saw this young athlete. Every morning at 5 a.m., she's at the track. Know why? Her boyfriend left her for her best friend. Instead of crying about it, she turned that heartbreak into a record-breaking sprint time. Now she's headed to the Olympics while they're headed nowhere. When you wake up tomorrow morning, I want you to look in that mirror and see someone who's not just surviving, but preparing to thrive. Someone who's not just moving on, but moving up to heights they never thought possible. That phone in your pocket, it's a tool, not a torture device. Those social media apps, they're platforms for your success, not surveillance systems for your past. That heart in your chest, it's a power source, not a prison. You're carrying around memories like they're precious gems. They're really just rocks weighing you down and let them fall. Watch them drop. Feel yourself rise. Each step away from them is a step towards your destiny. Each day without them is a day closer to your purpose. Each moment you choose yourself is a moment invested in your future. The cost of holding on is far greater than the price of letting go. You're paying with your peace, your potential, your purpose. No person is worth that premium. Transform that emptiness into space for growth. Turn that silence into time for self-discovery. Convert that absence into room for abundance. Your story isn't going to be about the love you lost. It's going to be about the power you found, the strength you built, the empire you created. Stop being a guest star in someone else's life story. You're the main character in your own epic tale. Start acting like it. Those tears you're crying, water your own garden with them. Those sleepless nights, turn them into productive mornings. That heavy heart, use it as a weight to build emotional muscle. Success doesn't ask for permission. Growth doesn't wait for approval. Power doesn't need validation. And neither do you. Your next chapter is waiting to be written. Your next victory is waiting to be claimed. Your next level is waiting to be reached. But first, you got to let go. Look at your hands. Yeah, these aren't just hands, you know. They're builders of dreams, creators of futures, sculptors of destiny. Stop using them to hold on to ghosts. When someone shows you they don't value your presence, believe them the first time. When they demonstrate they don't deserve your essence, trust that truth. You're not waiting anymore. You're not wishing anymore. You're not wanting anymore. You're winning, you're working, you're walking into your work. That fire in your chest isn't heartbreak. It's your purpose trying to burn through the chains you've wrapped around it. Let it blaze. Your potential is screaming for attention while you're whispering their name. Your destiny is knocking while you're watching their door. Your future is calling while you're checking their caller date. The moment you decide to focus on your growth instead of their absence, magic happens. Mountains move. Doors open. Roads clear. If you've been searching for healing in the same place you got hurt, looking for answers from the same lips that spoke lies, seeking closure from the same hands that open wounds. What if everything you're going through right now is just preparation? What if this pain is just your power in disguise? What if their absence is actually your answer? Cut the cord, burn the bridge, salt the earth. Not out of hate, but out of self-love. Not out of anger, but out of respect for your future. They were a chapter, not the whole book. A scene, not the entire movie. A moment, not your momentum. Read on, watch on, move on. Your comeback story starts now. Your victory lap begins here. Your freedom fight ends today, because today you choose you. Finally, completely, unapologetically you. The altar of their memory is not worth the sacrifice of your destiny. The shrine of their past is not worth the price of your future. The relic of their presence is not worth the cost of your essence. Watch how the universe conspires in your favor when you stop conspiring against yourself. Watch how opportunities multiply when you subtract their memory from your equations. Watch how life blooms when you stop watering dead flowers. This moment right here is your line in the sand. Behind it lies everything that held you back. Ahead lies everything that will push you forward. Step over it. Don't look. Your DNA is coded for greatness, not greed. Your spirit is built for flying, not falling. Your soul is designed for soaring, not sinking. Remember that? Live that. Take this moment right now. You feel the power running through your veins. That power was always there. You just couldn't feel it because you were too busy feeling their absence. I want you to make me a promise. Promise that today isn't just another day. Today is the day you declare your independence. Today is the day you sign your own Emancipation Proclamation. Today is the day you free yourself from the prison of wanting someone who never wanted you enough. Yesterday, you were a victim of your own heart. Today, you're the victor of your own story. Tomorrow, you'll be the architect of your own destiny, but only if you choose it, only if you claim it, only if you own it. Your tears have watered the garden of your strength. Your sleepless nights have built the foundation of your resilience. Your broken heart has carved the path to your purpose. When you look back at this moment, 5 years from now, you won't remember the pain. You'll remember the power. You won't count the tears. You'll count the victories. You won't measure the heartbreak. You'll measure the breakthrough. Every champion has a moment when they decide enough is enough. Every success story has a turning point where pain transforms into power. Every legacy has a starting line where letting go leads to lifting off. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your starting line. Don't you dare walk out of here the same person who walked in. Don't you dare continue the same story that brought you to this point. Don't you dare give another minute of your magnificent life to someone who couldn't give you their mediocre moments. You're not just healing. You're evolving. You're not just moving on. You're moving up. You're not just letting go. You're breaking free. Stand up right now. Feel the ground beneath your feet. That's not just floor. If that's your foundation, feel the air in your lungs. That's not just breath. That's your power. Feel your heartbeat. That's not just life. That's your rhythm. From this moment forward, you're not a prisoner of your past. You're a pioneer of your future. Yet you're not a victim of love. You're a victor of life. You're not waiting for someone to choose you. You're choosing yourself. The world is waiting for the person you become when you finally understand that their absence created space for your abundance. Their goodbye opened the door for your growth. Their exit cleared the path for your excellence. Now go build that empire. Go claim that victory. God will write that story. Go live that life. Go be that person who turned their pain into their power, their heartbreak into their breakthrough, their setback into their comeback. Because you're not just anybody, you're somebody. Yeah, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're not just letting go, you're moving forward. And forward is where your power lies. Forward is where your purpose waits. Forward is where your destiny stands. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life. Take it back. Own it. Live it. And never, ever apologize for choosing yourself over someone who couldn't choose you. The desire ends here. The power begins now. The victory is yours. Forever. Remember that? Be that. Live that. This is your time. Now ride.